I do not own the rights to this music.
In the Lord, I will trust in the Lord until I.
Hello, and welcome to Sunday School Summary with Brother Ron. Sunday School lesson for Sunday, October the 23rd, 2022. Our reference material for the Sunday School Summary is based upon the International Sunday School Lesson Series as published by the Sunday School Publishing Board. We are discussing God's Exceptional Choice as the title of the Fall Lesson Series, and it is a discussion of the continuous progression of God's grace and mercy working through salvation in the lives of Abraham and his descendants to Jesus and the early church. God chose unexpected and character-flawed people in Abraham's line to lead the children of Israel during times of crisis in order to fulfill God's covenant promise to Abraham, and even the deliverance of our ancestors from bondage. The God's Exceptional Choice lesson series is categorized into 3 units or groups of lessons. We are in Unit 2, and we are discussing Out of Slavery to Nationhood, and it explores and discusses God's call and the freedom and progression of Israel to a nation. The title of our 4th lesson in the Unit 2 Fall Lesson Series is titled, We Want a Human King. We want a human king, someone that we can see and marvel at as opposed to being directed by God. The key verse comes from 1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 19a, and it reads as follows. Ye have this day rejected your God, who himself saved you out of all your adversities and your tribulations, and ye have said unto him, Nay, but set a king over us. So it is a stern reminder from God of what the children of Israel is rejecting, the grace and security that God has provided in search of something more pleasant or pleasing to the eye. The title of today's lesson, We Want a Human King, from the book of 1 Samuel, is a continuation of God's covenant promise to bless Abraham and to make his descendants into a great nation. And we already talked about after the death of Moses and Joshua, the subsequent generations did not always obey God, and they followed a cycle of sin, oppression, and repentance. And they did whatever they wanted to do. And during this period, God appointed special judges to lead, in other words, to judge or govern the people through divine guidance. And God appointed Samuel as a judge. And Samuel was a capable and godly judge. However, he appointed his sons as judges in his old age, and the sons were for personal gain and not for the people, which led the people to reject God's governance in favor of a king, just as their Canaanite neighbors had, which brings us to today's lesson. There are 3 summary lesson points for today. Association begets assimilation, from 1 Samuel chapter 8, verses 4 through 7. Biting the hand that feeds, from 1 Samuel chapter 10, verses 17 through 19a. And looks are deceiving, from 1 Samuel chapter 10, verses 19b through 24. The passages for the lesson today revolve around the key words of faith, hearken, and judge. And faith is the complete trust, assurance, belief, or confidence. And in today's lesson, it is the children of God's lack of faith in God which leads them to request a human king. Hearken means to hear, heed, pay attention to. And in other words, our parents used to tell us to listen to what they were saying. Hearken. Listen and take it to heart. Judge is to govern, decide, or lead with divine guidance in today's lesson. Association begets assimilation, our first summary point from 1 Samuel chapter 8, verses 4 through 7. And in these passages discusses the elders' demand for a king like the Canaanite culture that they are surrounded by, and the request is delivered to Samuel and Samuel's response to that request. So what Samuel did was all of the leaders went to Samuel to meet him at Ramah. And they said to him that you are old and your sons do not live in the way that you have. And it says, all the nations around us have kings, so choose a king over us like the other cultures or the Canaanite cultures have. Now Samuel's response to this was to pray to the Lord for guidance. And that guidance was revealed to Samuel, and the Lord said to Samuel to listen to what the people were saying, or hearken to what the people were saying. And he says, I myself should be their king. So it is not you that they refuse to accept. It is me that they do not accept to be their king. So the Lord reassured Samuel that it was not his leadership that was causing the people to reject Samuel, but they were in fact rejecting God. So the second summary point is biting the hand that feeds, from 1 Samuel chapter 10, verses 17 through 19. And here we will see the consequences of their requests. He says that Samuel assembled the 12 tribes of Israel to share God's response to the elders' request for a king as their ruler. So Samuel sent a message, and he told them to come to Mizpah to meet with the Lord. And he delivered the message from the Lord. Said, I led you out of Israel, out of Egypt. I saved you from the power of the Egyptians. I also saved you from other kingdoms that were cruel to you. He says, I'm the one who saves you from all your pain and troubles. But now you have turned against me, your God. You have said, no, we want a king to rule over us instead. So God is giving the children of Israel a stern reminder of what they are giving up in this quest for a human king. They're giving up the grace and mercy and security of God to be like the Canaanite people. So looks are deceiving is our third and final summary point, and it's from 1 Samuel chapter 10, verses 19b through 24. So after Samuel had anointed Saul as king, the passages below record how Saul was chosen as king under the direction of God. And he says that they came and stand in front of the crowd, in front of the Lord, and he says, stand together in your tribes and in your clans. So each came forward to Samuel, tribe by tribe. And God chose Benjamin's tribe. And then each family from Benjamin's tribe came forward. And God chose the family of Matri. And then God chose Kish's son from this tribe, whose name was Saul, from the family of Matah. They looked for Saul, but they could not find him. Saul had stole away into the crowd. So they asked the Lord again, has Saul arrived? Where is he? So the Lord said, yes, but he is hiding. We don't know why Saul was hiding. It may have been that he felt he was not up to the task, or his own insecurities, or his lack of faith in God. So they said that they asked the Lord, and he was found among the baggage. So they went to Saul, and they brought him out. And when he stood among the people, he was head above the other people in the crowd. And they said, Samuel said to the people, or proclaimed to the people, says, look, here's the man that the Lord has chosen, and there's no one like him among all of the people. And the people shouted, may the king live forever. And we know that even though Saul looked the part of the leader, Saul had many challenges as a leader. And the bottom line is that we as Christians know that we have to look to the inner being. We have to look to the heart of an individual as opposed to the appearance. So something can look good but not taste good, and it can taste good but not be good for us. So as Christians, we have to be discerning, meaning that we have to look at what people are doing, their walk with faith in the Lord versus the outward appearance. This is Brother Ron with the Sunday School Summary for Sunday, October the 23rd, 2022. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed week, and we hope to see you next Sunday for another edition of Sunday School Summary with Brother Ron.